Yo, what's poppin', everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Key to the Streets. It's your boy, Mike Gomes. If these videos have been bringing y'all any value, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate y'all. Today, we're going to go over third-party stories in a sales call. Now, a third-party story is a technique and kind of like a ninja tactic that helps you get through the sales process. So what I teach my team are kind of two different pieces to a sales call, right? There's the process itself, and then there's ninja techniques that you use to go through the process. So if you guys haven't watched my 8-step sales process video, go back to my YouTube channel and go watch that. I take you guys through each and every step of our sales process. Now, the sales process is like a guide. It's almost like a script, but it's not like actual bullet point questions that you have to ask. They're more just like buckets that you have to fill. Now you fill these buckets different ways with every different type of situation. So in the sales process and on our team, we have 8 steps. And at every single step, you have to ask the right questions and fill up the buckets. I call each one of these steps buckets. You have to fill each one of them up till you get to the next one, right? So that's a structure that you abide by. You essentially have to fill up these buckets until you can move on to the next step. So it's a structure. Think about it like compartments, right? That's what the first part of a sales call is that I teach. The second thing is all the techniques that get you to fill up all these buckets, right? It would be like tools that you use. If they were actual buckets and you were like out in the field trying to fill up the buckets from the well or something, it would be the tools that you're using. It would be like the carriage that you're carrying the buckets to or something like that. It's like the tools that you're using essentially to fill up the buckets. That's what these techniques are. Now, in my opinion, third-party stories are one of the most important, if not the most important technique into a sales call. Now, to go over some of the other techniques just very briefly, there's like pausing in your tone and matching a seller and all that type of stuff. Like all those ninja tactics to get through the process is what I teach my team. But the third-party stories are like the number one thing that if you do this, you will be next level. So now let's go into what a third-party story is. A third-party story is essentially something that relates with the seller in their situation that they're going in, right? So to give an example of what a third-party story could be in the real world, let's just say you were on the train, right? Like, let's just say I'm from Boston, right? So let's just say you go on the train every day to get to work into Boston, and you sit next to somebody on the train, and the Patriots just played on Sunday, right? And let's just say you guys end up talking about the Patriots, right? You guys immediately bond over the Patriots. And then in that conversation, you start talking about, something that happened while the Patriots were playing. You guys both, let's just say it was 2 guys and they were both trying to watch the Patriots and their wives were trying to get them to clean or something at the same time. They both talk about a third-party story of that same situation. So one guy's like, yeah, last Sunday I was trying to watch the Patriots game. I was trying to watch a football game. My wife was trying to have me fold clothes and stuff like that. And the other guy's like, yeah, I had a similar type of situation where my wife wanted me to clean the dishes or something while the Patriots are on, right? They both immediately bond over that situation, and it makes their connection better. So it does a couple different things, though. Not only does it help them bond over that situation, but it also shows that they're both credible football fanatics, right? Like they're both credibly being fans over the Patriots. That makes an even more bond, right? And it builds credibility throughout the conversation. So after that, once they go more in depth, maybe they start talking about the team and they start talking about how well they're going to do for the rest of the year or how bad they suck or whatever the case is. It builds credibility throughout that conversation. So now when one of the guys talks about a player or how good the defense is or how bad the offense is or whatever, vice versa, they start believing what they're talking about because there's credibility in the conversation. So it's very similar to a sales call, right? I do these on all my sales calls, like literally every single one. I put multiple third-party stories in there because I immediately relate with the seller, and the seller starts giving me more information. Not only does it do that, but it also builds my credibility because of the type of story that I talk about. So what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to go over a deal that we got under contract last week. So this seller was giving me the most difficult time in the world. Like, she wasn't giving me any information. And then all of a sudden I told the third party story and the whole entire call changed. And then like an hour later, I follow up with her and boom, we get a contract signed. If it was not for this third party story, I would have never got the deal signed. But like literally probably would have never got the deal signed. So let's listen to the call when I dropped the third party story.
Another full bag and another half bag.
Oh, okay, got it. So those tenants that are in there right now, everything all set with them?
Light.
No, she's not trying to give me any information. I said, hey, the tenants that are in the property right now, is everything good with them? That's another tactic that I'll teach maybe on another video. But I asked an open-ended question. Is everything, well, actually, that wasn't even open-ended. The next question is open-ended. But essentially, I'm just trying to get her to talk, right? I'm trying to get her to talk about the situation with the tenants, and she's being closed off.
Like, are they cool with
No.
someone buying the house, or like, where are they at with everything?
Where are they at with everything? That's the open-ended question I asked. So you always want to ask an open-ended question to get the seller to talk about it, because that could mean anything. Where are they at with everything? Have they started moving out? You know, where are they at with the condition of the property? Do they take care of it? Do they pay the rent? Where are they at with the rent? Like, it's very broad, and you just get them to start talking. And typically they'll start talking about the pain points, the things that make them the most like mad about the situation. But here's where I dropped the third party story. So up to this point, I'm looking at my CRM right now, and we're in there like 2 minutes and 30 seconds into the call, and it's been like pulling teeth trying to get some information out of her.
They're not up to date with their rent. Not gonna lie to you.
They're not up to date with their rent. I'm not gonna lie to you. So now she's starting to give some sauce. So this is like the most information that she gave me throughout the whole entire call. So what I did is I saw the opportunity to jump on it. I was like, okay, she's starting to open up a little bit. I've gotten her to start talking about the property and start talking about the situation just a little bit. I need to immediately connect with her so that I can move forward and really get her to give me some information.
Yeah.
Okay, so they really haven't been paying the rent?
Yeah, they're behind. Yeah.
Yeah, our office is up here in Boston, and we're dealing with one in Brockton now. So I don't know if you know what Brockton is, but we're dealing with the same thing. Tenant hasn't paid in literally 6 months. And up here in Boston, it's different than Connecticut. It's hard to get the tenants out.
I can't be bothered with it no more. It's giving me headaches. I have to.
So I dropped a third party story, just to pause really quick. This third party story I said was about a real estate deal. So there's two main things. It was about a real estate deal, so it shows that I'm credibly doing deals. Like, so she has no questions that I'm doing deals. She knows that I'm doing deals now. And it also relates to her situation. Now she's like the guy on the train talking about the Patriots. Like, wait, you're a Patriots fan too? Like, wait, you're an investor or you're a landlord going through the same thing that I'm going through? Like, yes, let's bond and talk over this, because I'm freaking sick of what's going on. And you'll hear what she's about to say. All of a sudden, she starts talking about how bad her situation is.
The work and juggling all of that. So
Holy crap!
Yeah.
You have a mortgage on the property too?
yeah, I have a mortgage. Yeah.
You see, that's what's crazy. We're dealing with the same thing. We're paying a mortgage every single month, and the tenant isn't paying. We're just like bleeding cash.
Yeah, plus condo fee. Plus I have to pay the condo fee. So.
Oh my gosh.
So then she was like, plus I'm paying the condo fee. I don't know if you heard before, but she was just like, yeah, I can't deal with it anymore. You know, they haven't been paying their rent. It was like, I paused it, but I don't know if you guys heard it. But she was like, yeah, you know, they haven't been paying the rent and I just want to get rid of it. That's pretty much what she said. It's finally I start getting some information out of the seller. So from here on out, I start bringing her through the rest of the sales process. Because if you go back to my video and watch the 8 steps, I'm still in the rapport stage. So there's the intro and bonding stage, right, where you introduce yourself, you tell them why you're calling, and you try to make a human connection right away. And then the second part is the rapport. It's figuring out the whole entire situation. I was stuck in this rapport stage for like 3 to 5 minutes trying to gather all this information to figure out what was really going on. And it was like pulling teeth trying to get through this, but I can't move on to the next thing until I fill up that bucket. That rapport bucket is a bucket. I have to fill it up. So I kept going, and then all of a sudden, I actually have these recordings. So if you shoot me a DM on Instagram at the Mike Gomes, I'll send you over these recordings so you could hear it from start to finish, from the time that I called her to the time that I got her to sign the contract. So I'll send that to you if you shoot me an Instagram at the Mike Gomes. I'll send it over to you right away. But essentially from here on out, I bring her through the rest of the steps. I'm starting right now to bring her through the pain step, which is the next step. The next step is pain. Okay. And instead of asking her, well, instead of like pulling the pain from her, I'm getting her to come up with her own pain. I'm getting her to feel the pain. I'm essentially like sticking the knife in and twisting it, right? So I'm asking things like, holy crap, you're paying the mortgage? And oh my God, like, how are you covering the mortgage and the tenants aren't paying? And she's like, yeah, I got to get rid of it. This is crazy and all this type of stuff. That's why I asked, wait, you have a mortgage on the house? And she's like, yeah, it's tough. You know what I mean? You're getting her to start to feel the pain. Now she's aware that she's in pain. She came up with it herself, essentially, that she's in pain. And then the next thing I go over is decision bucket, and then the budget bucket. But you guys can go look at all the buckets on my 8-step sales process video. But if you guys want the recording to this video, well, to the seller calls that I got going on right now, if you guys want the recording, please shoot me a DM on Instagram at the Mike Gomes, and I'll get you the recording. It's actually on my story right now. If you guys are following me on Instagram and you watch this video, you can go on my story and get it. But just shoot me a DM on Instagram at the Mike Gomes, and you can get the recording. You'll hear this call being closed. So here's the thing. Third-party stories are super freaking important. This deal would have not got done. You guys heard the beginning. Like, she was not giving me any information. All of a sudden, I related with her, told a third-party story. Boom, that did wonders for me for credibility, and it started opening her up, and she started talking about it, and boom, we got the contract signed. So I hope this video brought y'all some value. If it did, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate y'all. Peace.